World over, wherever you are, on 19th of October in the afternoon at 12:30, 100 hours Indian Standard Time. It's indeed a great pleasure to have all of you with us this afternoon. Whatsoever time zone, whatsoever country, or whichever continent you're joining us from, we extend you a very hearty welcome, very warm welcome. And all our brothers and sisters, the most important thing is please take care of your health, stay fit, stay fine, because अगर आप स्वस्थ हैं तो समझिए संसार स्वस्थ है. आपको अपनी तबीयत का ख्याल रखना होगा. This afternoon, we are privileged. We have got Mr. Sanjay Datta ji. He is distinguished speaker today, and he is the principal of Maharana Mewar Public School, the City Palace, Udaipur. Udaipur, world over, is very, very famous. Everybody knows about it. It's a beautiful place. What a palace is, what a Udaipur lake, and all which the area offers to us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he is going to share his thought process with us on resilience in the youth, today's youth. Our series is Making Education Relevant. So let's proceed in the journey with him. Our chamber, International Chamber for Service Industry, world over, we have got our Indian diaspora, our brothers and sisters, non-resident Indians in different countries. We extend them a very hearty welcome and we pray to Almighty they all should be fine wherever they are. This pandemic, this coronavirus, during this time, all the doctors, nurses, paramedical people, they are doing wonderful job. They are the great warriors. They are serving the humanity the best possible way. At the same time, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important to understand that our teachers, our educators, our principal, our vice chancellor, our directors, our technocrats, our counselors, and whosoever is directly, indirectly associated with education system, they all are doing wonderful job wherever they are. They're trying to reach out youth the best possible way, whatsoever means are available. 1.86 billion children are at present away. That's what has been conveyed to us from the UNESCO, and these children have to be taken care of. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's move ahead. Mr. Sanjay Datta, while extending him a hearty welcome, we wish to share.
Thank you, sir.
He is an educationist who holds experience of teaching, research, and training in institutions of higher education and in school education as well. He has worked for the NCERT, National Open School, IGNOU, besides university teaching. He presently looks after the schools run as a part of the educational initiative of Maharana Mewar Charitable Foundation, Maharana Mewar Public School, and Maharana Mewar Vidya Mandir. We extend him a very hearty welcome this afternoon. And ladies and gentlemen, let me also share that besides the education fraternity, he is also very close. He has worked with the armed forces, couple of projects, Sadbhavna, besides that, couple of other things, what is being done by the armed forces. He had also gone for his program to IITTM. And anybody who talks with me on the IITTM, I always feel very happy because that's my baby, which I started way back when I had gone to acquire the first land over there on behalf of Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, from the Jivaji University, Gwalior. And I met the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor V.K. Singh Ji, at that point of time. And thereafter, I still recall, recapitulate when the India's Prime Minister was invited over there and ITDC was given the construction contract to do the entire work. And thereafter, my tenure got over and I got back to the armed forces. Now, besides IITTM, Sadbhavna, he had also been deeply associated. He's interested about soft adventure, hard adventure, mountaineering, and a couple of other programs, which I learned from him. So this afternoon, let him share his journey, his thought process, and let's empower all the youth, all the educators, and all the teachers wherever they are. We should have the open canvas. Let him put the different colors, whatsoever has to come over there. and we can have different shades because anything is a modern art and anything is a creative art, whatsoever you can paint onto it and you can put onto it. With these words, we extend a very hearty welcome to Mr. Datta.
Thank you, Mr. Gulshan Sharma. It's a deep honor to be with you this afternoon, and with all those who on a working day have taken time out to be with us on YouTube. You set the context yourself when you gave such a broad canvas to paint. But then I had a line in mind which I will first begin with to set the context, and then we shall talk about what probably in my journey I have done or what I've learned. And then I would like to, at some point in time, because of the common areas of interest, which you have confessed on record, I would like to have your views on how these things can contribute towards the development of the youth and their strengthening. Because I think these areas are very, very important towards building the youth and the nation. Now, the first context setting came from you, where the teachers very quickly adapted to the change, and the pandemic gave us hardships, and it gave us hardships and challenges of all sorts. And we all keep saying that teachers did a wonderful job of, very quickly adapting to new platforms. And I think it was their determination to teach, something like what Sir Winston Churchill said, that we will fight at sea, we will fight at land. So I think they were willing to fight whichever way, through WhatsApp, through Google, through any other platform that they might get. And the teachers really showed a different side to them, because it is considered as a noble profession, and unfortunately nobility is taken as softness sometimes. But teachers proved themselves to be very, very tough people who were veterans of teaching, who quickly adopted to the new technology. But what about the parents and what about the students? Where were the students in all this? Were they as resilient and as quick to adopt as the teachers? Did they take it up willingly, or were they brought to the classes? When I hear all these discussions challenges on teachers' side, I find 50% of them coming from the other side of the tab, which is the student. Unwillingness, citing problems, parents, and we have been talking about this general trend of parents, giving all facilities to students, making them everything available to them, fighting for their causes. And teachers often complain that, look, maybe you are somewhere in the process softening your own kid. So all that came out very, very clearly in this pandemic. The mental resilience of the kids, because the space was constrained, there was further shrinkage. From earlier times, probably what your and my generation talks about, there were large play fields. Our colonies were our play spaces. We used to travel across the town, cycle down. Cycling down to the ground was not part of exercise. It was reaching there. It was just a means. Your exercise began when you reached the ground. Here were kids playing in their colonies, playing in the parks outside, and suddenly brought inside. And now the containment of the area became further small. And then eventually they are reduced to just one mobile or one laptop. So the challenge now is, how do you build toughness in children in times when they are not having enough opportunities? If you look at the games that they play, and everybody says keep gamifying everything, education including, they seem to have gamified life. Success is very easy. How many points have you scored? How many enemies have you shot? It's just, guns blazing from your fingertips. And a kid, gets a sense of achievement if he gets a score of XYZ. The same gamification seems to be happening in boards. When you look at various boards competing in the country, almost, I would use the word, and you suddenly see that, everybody is scoring full on language, literature. So, where are we heading? We are heading towards a generation which everybody is saying that, this generation needs to be provided with means. And everything has to be rewarded, including failure, because that is how you hope that children will then eventually get motivated to perform. A small question mark on that. There was a time when self-study was the mode. Gradually, private tuitions came in. followed by suddenly you have coaching. And now it seems that without the help of an app, a student cannot survive. So, is this what you call as strengthening, enabling, or are we making children dependent? We seem to be railroading them towards programmed learning in a manner that there is very little for them to do on their own. And when they are without these devices, they feel lost. You take away a mobile from a child today and he starts crying. Seems to be happening with the teenagers. They are totally at a loss. You ask a question to somebody, he instantly reaches out for Google. Well, the calculator may have obviated the need to do your fingertip mathematic, but certainly the day Google does away with the need to memorize, you are going to be in for a big trouble, because then your dependency is 100%. So physically, your children are today in constrained environments. They don't have very many opportunities. If you look at the sports that they play, the games that they play, I mean, you have, unfortunate as it is, you have a death in the ring. Boxing is out. You have a contact sport where somebody loses life. There is criticism. Fine, these are unfortunate events. They should not happen. A cricket ball hitting, let's say, Nari contractor back in time did not stop cricket from happening. It just brought in helmets. That's fine. But then you cannot take away the element of a little difficulty to overcome from essential development of resilience in the youth. And it is not just physical, it is also mental. I think it was Bill Gates who quoted, if I remember correctly, or maybe his counterpart from Google, who said that, if you think that your teachers are unjust, wait for your bosses. And if you think that your bosses are unjust, wait for you to get married. So
Okay.
it is not a green channel for children. It is going, life is what it is. And if anything, pandemic has shown us that you cannot program learning for certain kind of difficulties that will come. A rest is all taken care of. You will be thrown, challenges would be thrown upon you, which you cannot prepare for. Khalil Gibran, when he said that, your children are not your children, it's oft repeated. But he says that because their minds, he says you cannot prepare them for future because their minds live in future, which you cannot visit even in your dreams. So you may today feel that, well, it's very important to have coding. How do you know coding's gonna be the only thing that they require? And I was going through the NEP, which is what one quotes these days when you have any webinar or where you talk. I'm reading the introduction. I'm reading the first line. It says education is fundamental for achieving full human potential.
Yes.
It is not saying that it is essential for a job or a skill or anything else. The human element has to come before all. Then you see it again comes, and I will read a little longish paragraph and kindly bear with me. This is on page 14 of the 60 pages document that I have, where it says curricular integration of essential subjects and skills. Because skills are important and life skills have been talked about and done to death. But when you read this very vital document, you realize that the means are all talked about. But what they want to make at the end of it is something that unfortunately I will have to read maybe 2 times more. So with absolutely no criticism of what is there on the table, because it's a very good document, I read and it says, while students must have a large amount of flexibility choosing their individual curricula, certain subjects and skills should be learned by all. So subjects and skills to become good, successful, innovative, adaptable, productive human being in today's rapidly changing world. In addition to proficiency in languages, these skills include scientific temper, evidence-based thinking, creativity, innovativeness, thanks of aesthetics, and it goes on to say written communication, health, nutrition, physical education, wellness, fitness and sports, collaboration, teamwork, problem solving, logical thinking, vocational exposure. It goes on, including peace, righteousness, right conduct, forgiveness, tolerance, sympathy. It's a longish paragraph, which I begged forgiveness before reading. I don't want to bore the readers. They all have the document. The last line of this longish paragraph, which I will now read to, is that all this is very important for India's future and leadership in numerous upcoming fields and professions. which will involve artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science. This comes last. So, not to forget the first part of the paragraph, we need to very clearly know where we are heading. And this resilience forms a part of your physical, spiritual, and mental balance that you must have. Because to be a good engineer, I mean, Oppenheimer very famously said, "My God, what have I done?" Because he was knowledgeable about the Rig Veda. Because to have created a bomb is good, but to what use, for what purpose, should first be clear. Of course, it ended the war, which was a great thing. It saved lives. But then, which is the biggest threat that you fear, or we have lived through the Cold War? It has been this. So, my initial context setting is based on the thoughts that I've just shared with you, that we need not to forget at any given point that all these means should prepare the human, provide them with the toughness and resilience of unexpected threats to human life. It need not be, need not come with a by a meteor or a comet. It can come from a microbe. It can come from loss of jobs. It can come from a war. It can come from an economic war. It can come from a civil strife. It can come in any shape or form. And all these are larger contexts. Leave it to the policy makers. Individuals going through crisis in their personal, I always say, more than half of this country is one illness removed from poverty, despite all your schemes that you may have. So, how to go through a personal crisis is what we need to look at. The NEP certainly talks about this, but then we will have to find at this at individual levels, at home. Parents will have to answer the question. Teachers will have to answer the question. Institutions will have to be geared up for that. And then a larger, the society at large. We are not talking of a Spartan society which has no room for weakness. We have an inclusive society for everyone. But this aspect, I feel, has largely been ignored and should be addressed. And the wellness that we talk about, the help of people who we say are counselors, should not only be for those who are on the verge of a breakdown or those who need help. It should be for everyone. And it should be positive. The aggression has to be positive aggression towards strengthening, not just talking about somebody on the verge of having a breakdown, or somebody having nervousness before exams, or saying that we will make your exams such that you don't feel nervous. I mean, nervousness before any performance is a good sign. It spurs you to do better. So you can't take away that challenge element from your life. It will stay, whether nature itself, the struggle for existence, the Darwinian theory will always be there. The struggle will not go away. The only answer is, how do you prepare the next generation? So since you gave me a good 1 hour, I thought that, I will do the context setting a little longer than I normally do. But then, thank you so much. And I would at this point like to talk about all of the other issues that we have been talking about, which you so generously mentioned in my introduction. And Dr. Gulshan, you are in for a hard day, because now I would like to flip this conversation. And everybody is so proud of you and full of praise for you, for your energy. And I don't know why they keep bringing your numerical age into chronological years into conversation. Forget that. You are a soldier, and you are a traveler. So I would like you to give me 5-minute break and talk about how your own life in the army, in tourism, which are our common two areas of interest, and travel, has shaped you as a personality. Because at every stage of life we face a challenge. I mean, why say that a kid needs help? A 50-year-old needs help for the next 25 years. Somebody at 75 needs help for the rest, and you need different challenges. Your insecurities are different at each age. So let's talk about not only building resilience in youth, which I will take up after a while, but let's hear from you.
It's something, because आपके बच्चे, आपके टीचर, जो लोग भी उदयपुर से जुड़े हैं या बाकी जगहों से जुड़े हैं, और जितने भी लोग विश्व में इस प्रोग्राम को देख रहे हैं, अगर जीवन में सब कुछ वैसा हो जाए जैसा आप चाहते हैं तो वो भी परमात्मा की मर्जी है। लेकिन अगर वैसा ना हो तो जो हो रहा है उसी में हैप्पीनेस ढूंढ लीजिए, उसी के अंदर अपना पूरा पैशन, पूरा पूरा जोर लगा दीजिए जो कुछ भी आप कर रहे हैं। हालांकि मिस्टर दत्ता हैज कॉट मी, बट द थिंग इज आई एम जस्ट शेयरिंग। किसी दिन आपके साथ महाराणा का जो आपका मेवाड़ का इंस्टीट्यूशन है, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, सेटअप है, आपके सारे टीचर्स के लिए, आपके सारे बच्चों के लिए एक विशेष कार्यक्रम रखेंगे। उस दिन मैं डिटेल में बातचीत करूंगा। आज मैं सिर्फ इतना ही कहना चाहूंगा, everybody cannot do everything, but everybody can do lots of things. That is the first part. And there is nobody on this planet, इस धरती पर, इस जमीन पर कोई भी इंसान ऐसा नहीं है जिसको परमात्मा ने भेजा है और वो कुछ नहीं कर सकता। हर इंसान कुछ ना कुछ कर सकता है। ये निर्भर करता है कि आप किस श्रद्धा से करते हो, कितने डेडिकेशन से करते हो, कितने डिवोशन से करते हो, कितने हैप्पी होके करते हो। देखो भाई, खुश होके करोगे तो कभी टायर्ड नहीं करोगे। द सीक्रेट ऑफ माई लाइफ इज, आप हैरान हो जाएंगे अगर मैं आपसे कहूं, कल रात को मैंने 2:30 बजे तक वेबिनार किया, 2:30 तक। क्योंकि जिन लोगों के साथ वेबिनार कल रात करना था, उनको जो टाइम सूट करता था वो टाइम सूट करता था। वो वेबिनार कल रात को 10:30 बजे शुरू हुआ और मैं 2:30 बजे वहां से फ्री हुआ। लेकिन आप सोच नहीं सकते, मानसिक तौर पर मैं एज ए गुड स्टूडेंट उन लोगों से कितना कुछ सीखा। हम लोग एक दूसरे से सीखते हैं। मैं दत्ता साहब से कुछ सीखता हूँ, जितने स्टूडेंट्स इनके स्कूल में पढ़ रहे हैं मैं उनसे भी कुछ सीखता हूँ, जो इनके यहाँ टीचर्स हैं मैं उनसे भी कुछ सीखता हूँ। हम सब लोग एक दूसरे से सीखते हैं। जिस दिन आप सीखना बंद कर देंगे, आपकी यात्रा समाप्त हो जाएगी। That is something very important which we all have to see. Now, new education policy is wonderful. Datta Sahab is very dynamic. इनके साथ पहले भी हम लोग 2 प्रोग्राम में वर्चुअल रूबरू हुए और इनको सुनने के बाद मुझे इतना अच्छा लगा। मुझे इनकी थॉट प्रोसेस को, इनकी कमिटमेंट को, इनकी पेडागॉजी को, इनके कमिटमेंट को, उन सब चीजों ने मुझे प्रभावित किया। और मैंने इनसे कहा कि आपका एक प्रोग्राम हमारे साथ अलग से होना चाहिए। तो मैं आप लोगों के पास उदयपुर भी आऊंगा, मैं बच्चों से भी मिलूंगा, टीचर से भी मिलूंगा, सब लोगों को एम्पावर भी करूंगा। पर कोई पता नहीं है कोरोना कितने दिन चलेगा। बीच में किसी दिन भी, जिस दिन दत्ता साहब चाहेंगे, मैं कुछ ऐसी बातें करूंगा जो आपको किताबों में नहीं मिलेंगी। 45 मिनट्स का एक प्रोग्राम हम आपके टीचर्स के लिए और आपके यूथ के लिए, वी कैन डू एनी डे, एनी डे। राजस्थान मेरे दिल के बहुत नजदीक है, क्योंकि जोधपुर के अंदर मैंने भारत का MBA टूरिज्म शुरू करवाया था। महाराजा गज सिंह जी ने अपने जोधपुर यूनिवर्सिटी में, अपने जो जोधपुर का पैलेस है उसके अंदर, मुझे आज भी याद है, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ टूरिज्म गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की तरफ से हम लोग एक फैशन शो के लिए गए थे। अब उसको मैं फैशन शो नहीं कहूंगा, उसको टूरिज्म बेस्ड शो कहूंगा। तो वो हमने एक प्रोग्राम वहां पर किया था जो बहुत अच्छा हुआ था और लोगों ने बहुत एंजॉय किया था। उदयपुर में बहुत फिल्मों की शूटिंग्स होती है, उदयपुर में बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं। हर बच्चा ये सोचे नई चीज क्या करनी है, ऐसा क्या करना है जिसमें आपको खुशी मिलती है, तो आप कभी टायर्ड नहीं होंगे। आप मुझे रात को 2 बजे भी जगा लीजिए तब भी मैं ऐसा ही मिलूंगा, सुबह मिल लीजिए तब भी ऐसा ही मिलूंगा, दोपहर को भी ऐसा ही मिलूंगा। क्योंकि मुझे एक बात समझ आ गई इस जीवन में कि नहीं होगा जैसा आप चाहते हैं, सब कुछ वैसा नहीं होगा। लेकिन जो हो रहा है, बी वेरी हैप्पी विद दैट, एंजॉय दैट। और मैं आज आपको कह रहा हूं कि दत्ता साहब की लीडरशिप के अंदर आपका स्कूल भारत ही नहीं, एशिया ही नहीं, विश्व का नंबर 1 स्कूल बन सकता है। दत्ता साहब सिर्फ आपको हौसला दे सकते हैं, आपको प्रोत्साहित कर सकते हैं, आपको अच्छा सोचकर अच्छी चीजें बता सकते हैं, लेकिन करना तो आप लोगों को है। एज ए टीम हम सब लोग इकट्ठे मिलकर इसको करें। So with these words, I would request you to kindly let's
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Sharma. I know that you have evaded my question successfully. And that is a skill of a good orator. Now, we are facing some issues, sir, with our internet connection. So I
अच्छा,
have an alternate mobile connection. Probably we will have to migrate to it at some point in time.
कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, कोई
If
दिक्कत
that, if that so happens, kindly forgive me and allow me the
नहीं।
break when it does.
हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं विश्व भर से। इंटरनेट की और डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी की प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं, डिफिकल्टीज आती हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है।
And as we all know, Murphy's law is eternal. So the Murphy's law is applicable. Something will go wrong. There's nothing you can do about it.
नथिंग टू वरी, नथिंग
Well,
टू वरी।
yeah. So we talked about. I'll take a leap from what you said about what we are doing here in Udaipur and about the methodology with which we are working. So um, we could talk about, of course, I could take a few leaves from my own life, but that I will take if there is time. But then definitely I would say that our struggles to build our careers, our efforts to build our career through tourism, through adventure, our choices, that is what shapes us to be what we are. But here at MMPS, what as we call it, these are the initiatives of the royal family of Udaipur, and their educational initiatives go back from 1864. And the girls' school was opened back then in time. Now, there are two educational institutions which are presently operating. One is out of the city palace of Udaipur, which is called the Maharana Mewar Public School. Then we have another location about, as the crow flies, about 2.5 kilometers away from here in the city, which is at Amba Mata. And these are just two regular initiatives that serve since 1974, the senior school, the junior since 82. But then their educational endeavors go way beyond. The children are awarded here every year, encouraged. As you are aware, this is the house of Maharana Pratap. Every year there is an awards function where students are given scholarships. The school supports children which are part of the Charitable Foundation. As I have mentioned, that these are all initiatives of the Charitable. There are outreach programs which go beyond the shores of this country, to Australia, to England, and we try and imbibe and bring as much as we can and provide to everyone. We are proud to say that we have the largest student body of students who are studying free of cost under right to education in the city. We have our, besides that, in addition to that, we have our own scholarships where students study free of cost. So we are not only doing mandatory, but we are doing service beyond our call of duty as well.
Wonderful.
Now, that is just the charitable part, as I said. Then comes the methodology, you see, because when it's all right to talk about, mental toughness, psychological, this thing, and physical fitness, but then how do you go about it? What are the cues that you are given? What are the things on which you are putting a premium? Because there are, as I say always, there are horses for courses. There are schools for different purposes. And I, for one, always say that we have absolutely nothing against any kind of educational institution that one may choose to run or attend. But then there are certain elements which should be there in all. So what we very consciously do is that everybody, as you said, rightly said, that there's not everything that one can do, but there's something that everyone can do. So I cannot change the way this country operates today. I may not be very, in line with what the decisions at the very top might be happening sometimes. And people often just talk about all this. But I always say that you have a student body under your tutelage. If you can do justice with that small bit, and if you can give them the right values, and if you can do the right kind of man making in that, you have done your job. You have done your contribution towards nation building. You have done it, your service, your part of service. So what we do is very consciously especially in our junior school, there are the cubs, the bulbuls, those small bunny tamtolas, which is where children start getting into their social act as well as fulfilling the higher objectives of the 21st century skills of communication, collaboration, and everything. So it's all right to have, let's say, all these C's in place. But how do you do it? Where are the evidences? Where do the children go? Are they enjoying it? Are they benefiting from it? Is the society at large benefiting from it? So we have created this whole chain where, a kid starts right from nursery into a Bunny Tamtola group, doing their small fire lighting, they mock treat each other, and they at least are aware of what is suffocation. How do you do that? They may not be able to do it, but then they're aware. And there are instances where children have done that to their great grandparents at a later stages in school, where somebody has undergone a cardiac issue, and the parent, the child, who learned the things in their scouts, their guides, their NCCs. NCC, in fact, we have 3 wings, and including an RBC unit, which is something that you would know that is quite a challenge. Yeah, and we are in the process, hopefully, of becoming tri-services.
Okay.
And then the service wings, because we have upon ourselves the responsibility of conserving our heritage. So we have a chapter of intact right here. And I'm myself a life member. And because we are operating out of a building which is itself historical, I mean, it's 400 plus years structures. The school itself is housed in a building which is 300 plus. So these things come naturally to us. So when you talk about conservation, the lakes that we have, that we possess, that Udaipur is proud of, it becomes a natural extension of our school. So our children make projects on this. They have been winners at not only the state level, but at the national level for, the National Science Congress we have been representing. Children have given on how to have the good biomes in our lakes. So there is a very direct connect. It is not something we are doing, as a project. It is something that is a part of our existence. If these are, we are. In fact, our school initiative was part of an initiative right here by the trustee, where we, at one point in time, at one moment in time, largest plantation happened, and we got a Guinness record for that. Not the school, but our trustee himself. So when you have such kind of leadership, you develop on these things furthermore. And that is what we have been attempting. And then to present the right role models to our kids. You see, when you do an event, you like to have somebody that, you probably would, it would be nice to have the person as a chief guest. But is he a right role model? Is he on time? Can the event start on time? So we have made it a point, and we are very proud that, we had one of our serving chief of army coming to our school while in service. We had one ex-chief. We had General VK Singh while he was serving, and yes, and General Birinda after his retirement. So General Bikram. So these are role models, and the direct effect can be seen that kids have been motivated to join the uniform. You have infantry officers coming out of a normal civil school, which is not, as I said, there are horses for courses. So out of a military school, an army school, you would expect kids to come out. But then a school like us, which is multi-dimensional, multi-purpose, serving to all without a barrier, a bar, to produce these is a matter of great pride, because we keep talking about how we are facing a shortage of shortfall of officers. So if I can contribute to that in some way, then I think we are doing our job.
Very good. Very good.
But then, as I said, all this happens when you towards fitness, mental and physical toughness. As they said, the Second World War was won on the playfields of Eton. So these are the motivations behind us, and it is not just sports and getting them motivated by such people. We have had cricketers come here. We have had Shane Watson was here. You have Sunil Chetri come and talk about football. We have had Milkha Singh come now. So giving them the right ideals, and then you have, because Udaipur is known for films and all. So we had the Salim Suleiman, Salim Merchant coming down and talk about the industry, because children find a lot of employment there. So we have been providing them with the right kind of, inputs for them to build a career. But then it's not just all hunky dory. We'll give you a easy passage, and give you all the marks, and you are the best, and you are the best, and everybody's the best. It's like you laugh in tourism that wherever you may go in the world, you find the tallest, the deepest, the biggest, the brightest. I don't know how that happens, but then that is something that we are very conscious of.
In
And
tourism,
despite, in fact, we teach music, and we teach music in a big way.
in tourism, it is
We
called,
use it as a vehicle for development. Our,
in tourism,
yes, yes, yes.
tourism we call, we are dream
So,
merchant. We are dream
dream
merchant.
merchants, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Music, you were
yes,
saying,
yes.
music, you were saying something.
Yeah, so I mean, we use these as vehicles for development of the student. You see the disciplining. The school boasts of having a brass band, a pipes band. Now, why do you need these? You don't need them for just an occasion. It is a year-round training and what you teach through it. Of course, we have a brass. We have a I like to share those pictures with you if you permit me. Let me see if I can do that just to add a bit of uh, just to have a bit of color to our presentation. Here is the brass band. You see,
Wow.
this is where they are in the art school. It is not just music. You perform, you do paper mache, you do. This is our art school, by the way. Pottery and clay, you can see at the back, work happening in progress, kids involved. Now you can see the Beatles right there on top. So music comes and blends. You may have a Mother Teresa here, you may have. So these are visual clues that kids pick up. This is their latest demo of mask making before they went for a break. But if you look at the ambience where we are, there is a substantial amount, and this is where the music goes on stage. 100 of our kids at times, this is less, have a Western musical, an Indian blend. And then you have again the display. So on an ordinary day, probably they'll get together very quickly and do something like this. And then this is our dining hall where they have cookery being taught to them. So I would not like to harp about too much. And then you have kids doing this. So the idea is that, yeah. So the idea is that, yes. So the idea is not just, one dimension. The resilience will come when they have something to take pride in. The kid need not be only dependent on education as a vehicle for his development in life. He should at hand have 10 options where the school has provided him a bouquet and he or she can pick up and excel, and his self-esteem is built. And while he or she may not be doing very well in one of the segments, there is another opportunity, another area where the child can start, taking interest. And as we have seen, and as you and I have experienced, we all have career switches. Now, how do you expect a child to know what is good or bad for him and continuously be at it while still a teenager? So to prepare them, to give them opportunities for exploration, to to keep their mental resilience in place, we try and give them so many things that you may not be good at one, but you could certainly be a jack. And those jacks and joes are the ones who actually ultimately become the great leaders of future in this world. While the academicians might, because that's not to take away their academic achievement. I mean, we had, when you talk about this competition which is obvious and which you need for showing your results, our 10th class student was the city topper this year. We have had subject toppers before that in science, commerce, and arts. So it is not at a cost of academics. This is something which is helping them. It is something which is helping them build. So the general idea is that, are you there?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Did I lose you or did you lose me?
Yeah, there was some difficulty with the internet, but now it's okay.
Fine. So the academic results show that all these things are not distractions. Your kid, I mean, if I was to talk about the resilience of my kids, my 12th class topper 2 years ago had a brain surgery the year he appeared for his boards. And he's topping science.
Even
So that somewhere,
imagine.
somewhere in his upbringing, he had that notion that when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. We use these gimmicks for marketing, for pushing our sales forces. I think it is best here in school that children imbibe these things. And you have to put these visual clues there and let them use it in every aspect of their fight. So, you should not always leave 4 runs to be scored off the last ball. It may be very entertaining for the crowds and good for IPL. But then the children should have the confidence that even if it is so, I will make it. And for that, Gulshan sir, I would say that they need small barriers very early in life. You see, before their 10th and 12th board, there should be enough barriers to their growth so that they learn how to overcome challenges. You see, because if you keep just giving them, okay, no, well done, very well done, you have done very well, you may have not passed, but tomorrow, it's fine, it's good to encourage. Nobody's against that. But then to, without having tested, giving them those, I think the generation which did with 75% distinction as their distinction, and those who are coming with 100, I think the 75ers are still a little better. I might be biased to my generation. So that is how it goes. And as I said, we have a common cause to talk about here. I would always say that in personal life as well, we were not as well channelized or guided uh, as probably today's kids are, because they are tested 10 times even before they do their 12th, and they are told that this is the career for you. We found it on our own. But I think in the meantime, when we went to the mountains and while we were figuring out what our source of income is gonna be, we were very sure that, climbing a mountain or doing a course in mountaineering. So you find the best way to reach it, as we were discussing, while going for a tourism institute. My personal deep reason was that I knew that through the MHRD, this institution can give me an opportunity to learn mountaineering. Now, where does that fit into my career? But then it certainly fits into my personal life. And that is where resilience building comes in. We are proud to share that last year, we sent over 100 students to Panchmadi.
Wow.
The whole idea was that let them live under the canvas.
Yeah.
So these elements somewhere in a digitalized world, where you score points for a hit that you score, and you gamify your academics, and you gamify learning. Nothing against that. I hope somewhere we make provision and we make it mandatory for everyone to do an X amount of surmounting troubles as a part of curriculum, as a part of their learning, a certain amount of failure. I mean, I don't know how Nadal does what he does today, but I remember, and the joke kept going on that we have all gone on to have our careers and kids, but Nadal is right where he was in 2005. So the boy hasn't grown up. But look at it. I mean, look at this resilience that has been built into him. And remember an old senior tennis player, Ivan Lendl, who was back then a perfectionist, said that the best way to train is to first let them win against weaker opponents, and then let them lose against tougher opponents, and let them learn to deal with both of them.
Yes.
So I think in education, we need to look at that. The boards will have to stop competing. They will have to stop giving everybody a green channel. We will have to I don't know how we are going to have these youth camps, but we will have to have them once this pandemic is over. Even in our online life, there can be, I mean, my age group, my school batch is doing a marathon online. So everybody put your scores up, get connected to the same app, and let's see how do you all do. So pushing 50s, people are doing that. I'm yet to reach there. So, well, maybe once I'm 50, I'll do that. So, but then we always have our excuses. We all try to give them. But then all I would say is that, it is something which I have said often in my talks, and it says that often in the evening times, a boy comes back to me. From the fields of yesteryears, a boy comes back to me, a boy back from his evening play, the boy I used to be. So I did it I started one of my webinars with this on sports for an organizer called Notebook. And I did that because, I found that that is an area which less and less people are talking about. As I said, that once at one point, tuitions was an odd thing. The
Yes.
coaching industry gradually came, and yes, they did their good job, but it's soon became mandatory. And today it seems that apps are going to be the only way that you can study and learn and resilience. Nothing against any of them. We ourselves are using it. We are all for it. Technology will help us, but technology should have something to include something included in it, inbuilt in it, for giving mental and physical resilience so that they can face pandemics, wars, strife at home, struggle in life, employment, career setbacks, and if the need be, give them the freedom and the ability to switch tracks when required.
Very good.
So with that, I would like to close my 1 hour of, there are another 10 minutes. But if there is anything that's on your mind, any thoughts provoked, because you're a much, way better orator than me, I would like to bring in and give some more color and quality to my session with you, which will go down in memory as long as I think both of us are there, if not anything else.
So very kind. Let participant put something in the chat box.
So,
Let participant, you ask something from the participants, let them put over here.
I
Uh,
will, I,
what do you enjoy the most doing? What do you enjoy the most? Whenever you're doing something, it may be your hobby, it may be your passion, it may be your interest, it may be your inclination, it may be anything. One word answer. What do you enjoy doing? What do you enjoy doing? Put it into the chat box in the YouTube, in the
let's see,
YouTube channel. We
let's
want,
see if we get that.
yes, we want to get from everybody.
Yeah,
All
we will.
those are right over here. Let us see. Let us see. Let people put over there. What do you enjoy doing the most? Everybody enjoys something. So, what do you enjoy? Let's put it over here in the group. Let's hear you.
I
Yeah, we are giving you an opportunity. We are
Yeah.
giving
So
you.
while we wait for them,
Raghavendra is music. Shweta is innovation. Wow. Okay, go on quickly, quickly. We want participation. It should not be one-way traffic only. Dr. Gulshan Sharma and Mr. Datta ji is talking. No, no. Come on, come on, come on. Yes. Abhilasha, that is meditation and music. Wow. Raghavendra singing. Neetu trying something new. Yes, that's very good. You are innovative, you are creative, trying something new. Sid, good afternoon. Everybody is fine, but I am asking. I am asking, you got to put something over here. What do you enjoy doing? What gives you maximum happiness? What gives you maximum satisfaction? Cooking. Wow, that's very good. That's very good. Raghavendra, you should be happy. The best cook on the planet are the chef are male members. Okay. Mamta, serving in MMPS. Okay. Parul, listening to intelligent conversation as this apart. Okay. Then Sid, coach and cooking. Yeah. You were saying something.
although but what I'm saying is that now this is getting a little too much. Intelligent conversations like this, it was hardly a conversation.
No, no, Anchal, being near nature, maintaining my garden. Okay. Parul, music and Garima, music and spiritual work. Wow.
Uh,
Very innovative. Keep putting over here because
but Dr. Sharma, I personally feel that we all enjoy music a lot, and you saw the kind of emphasis I put. And there is a quotation that, of course, goes that music enlightens the soul and elevates our spirits. And you yourself has said in your previous webinars that one must listen to some kind of music every day.
it's very important.
And
It's
I
very
have a quote on that.
अभी मैं दत्ता साहब के सामने एक सीक्रेट शेयर कर रहा हूँ. Although and I'm so confident we'll be the winners. मैं दत्ता साहब के सामने और आप सबके सामने शेयर कर रहा हूँ. I always believe in things which are not done earlier, and you should do something new. I do not want to follow the path, the trail which is already laid by somebody. Can I draw a new trail? That is something very important. So for that matter, मैं अभी गिनीज बुक ऑफ रिकॉर्ड्स को भेज रहा हूँ. I want to organize a webinar 24 hours non-stop. Music therapy for education. Music therapy for education. 24 hours non-stop. We'll apply for Guinness Book of World Records also. We would like to go over there. We would like to see. Music is very important. Enjoy it. One of the secret of my life at the age of 72, I'm sharing with all of you, that is music. Music. It's very important. When I take my meals, I play something beautiful over there. It may be, generally it is instrumental because it gives soothing. When you say, जैसे अक्षय कुमार बोलता है कि सलाइवा में चबा चबा कर मिला मिला कर खाओ तो आपका डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम ठीक होगा, बॉडी ठीक होगा. आप म्यूजिक के नोट्स को मिला मिला के अपने भोजन के साथ खाओ तो फिर आप देखो. आप किचन में खाना बना रहे हो, म्यूजिक सुनो. आप किसी जगह पर भी हो, गुनगुनाओ, म्यूजिक को एंजॉय करो. म्यूजिक therapy should be the integral part of education. I'm doing lots of research on that for last 8 years, and I'm deeply, deeply keen about it. Now, coming on to gamification, that also will share with each other. When I talk about gamification, किसी बच्चे को आप स्नेक और लैडर दे दो, ठीक है, आप उसको लूडो दे दोगे, वो लूडो खेलता रहेगा, एंजॉय करेगा. जो बच्चे चेस एंजॉय करते हैं वो चेस एंजॉय करेंगे. चेस का एक कॉइन को मूव करने के लिए, एक चाल चलने के लिए आपको 50 चीजें सोचनी पड़ती है. सो योर माइंड बिकम्स वेरी शार्प. अगर आप चाहते हैं कि लास्ट एज में आपको लाइफ में आपके हाथ पैर ना कांपे और आप अच्छे से चाय का कप उठा के पीते रहें टिल द लास्ट डे ऑफ योर लाइफ, फॉर दैट मैटर it is very important, music and gamification. अब आप कहोगे gamification की बात क्यों कर रहे हो, कैसे कर रहे हो? Gamification, I'm talking in a positive way. I'm not talking destructive games. I'm talking about constructive, innovative games. आप इससे tactics सीखते हैं, management सीखते हैं, strategy सीखते हैं, आप इससे innovation सीखते हैं, आप इससे collaboration सीखते हैं, आप इससे ये देखते हैं कि हम 11 लोग इकट्ठे जाके इस चीज को कैसे जीत सकते हैं. 11 की टीम होती है, चाहे जैसे हॉकी का मैच है. किसी गेमिफिकेशन को आप मैनेजमेंट में, एजुकेशन में, इसीलिए हमारे चेंबर की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. वी हैव रिटन मोर देन आई थिंक 208 लेटर्स सो फार टू द कंपनीज कि भाई पॉजिटिव गेम्स बनाओ ना, पॉजिटिव चेस करो ना, आप कंस्ट्रक्टिव गेम बनाओ ना, बच्चों को स्कूलों में लेकर आओ ना, बिकॉज दैट इज व्हाट इज नीडेड. डोंट हैव डिस्ट्रक्टिव थिंग्स. पॉजिटिविटी, क्रिएटिविटी, innovation and happiness, that is something very important every child should follow. आपका इंस्टीट्यूशन बहुत अच्छा है, जो बच्चे लोग यहाँ पर पढ़ रहे हैं, जो टीचर्स यहाँ पर है, आपकी पॉजिटिविटी देख के मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगा. एंड दैट स्पीक्स ऑफ गुड लीडरशिप, बिकॉज योर लीडर अपने दत्ता साहब जो है, ही इज वेरी पॉजिटिव. नो, मैं इन्हें जानता नहीं, मैंने कभी मिला नहीं. हमारी मुलाकात मुश्किल से 2, 2.5, 3 महीने पहले एक दूसरे के साथ अभी तक सिर्फ 2 बार हुई है. लेकिन I spotted him. Out of 42 speakers, I spotted him. And I told him I'm going to speak to him. I'm going to get him in one of my programs. Because आपको sharpness चाहिए. कौन आदमी passionate है, कौन आदमी dedicated है, कौन आदमी devoted है. आपकी superficial किसी की भी चापलूसी नजर आ जाएगी within no time. अगर आप genuine हैं तो वो भी नजर आ जाएगी. जेन्युइन रहिए, सब कुछ मिलेगा जिंदगी में. और देखो, मैं 5,000 रुपए में भी जिंदगी गुजार सकता हूँ, 5,000 रुपए महीने में. यू कांट इमेजिन, यू विल बी सरप्राइज्ड टू नो. मैं अपनी खुद की वेजिटेबल उगा रहा हूँ. मैंने पहली बार सीखा है कि ऑर्गेनिक वेजिटेबल्स कैसे उगती हैं, घर की छत के ऊपर, घर के आंगन के अंदर, घर के किसी भी जगह मेरा कोई भी कोना है।
And are they, can they be ordered online?
नो नो, आई डोंट सेल सर। मैं सिर्फ ये शेयर कर रहा हूँ, मतलब जिनको फूलों से प्यार होना चाहिए, फूलों की भी अपनी जरूरत है। किसी को कॉन्स्टिपेशन रहता है तो उसको गुलकंद चाहिए, तो गुलाब का फूल चाहिए, मानता हूँ। लेकिन इस समय अगर कोरोना है और सब्जियों की जरूरत है, ऑर्गेनिक की है, तो मैंने फूलों की खेती की बजाय मैं सब्जियां उगा रहा हूँ। और अदरक का इस्तेमाल कीजिए। अदरक के इतने गुण हैं कि मैं आपको बता ही नहीं सकता। यू वुड से नाउ हाउ आई एम स्विचिंग ओवर फ्रॉम हियर। दो चीजें अगर जिंदगी में तुम्हें मिल जाए, अदरक और हल्दी। अदरक और हल्दी, अगर कच्ची हल्दी कहीं से मिल जाए, इसको हल्दी को दूध में उबाल कर लीजिए, हल्दी का सेवन कीजिए, हल्दी को गर्म पानी के साथ लीजिए, और अदरक, अदरक को अपने भोजन के साथ लीजिए खाना शुरू करने से पहले। दो, इट गिव्स यू सो मच ऑफ एनर्जी, इट गिव्स यू पॉजिटिविटी। आपका डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम, जिस आदमी का डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम ठीक है वो हमेशा खुश रहेगा। जिस आदमी का डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम दोनों तरीके से ठीक नहीं है, वो आदमी कभी खुश नहीं रह सकता। पेट में भी दर्द होती रहेगी, प्रॉब्लम भी होती रहेगी।
The look itself is prefixed with the word I would not use here.
So take
Thank you so much, Dr. Saab. It was such a, because it's amazing how you bring these things together. I mean, you've done over 100 webinars, and how many countries you said that this goes to?
119 countries I have already traveled.
9 countries, you see, and then in these seminars?
240, आपका 246 है मेरा ख्याल।
Well, I came in that late.
So, मैं आप सब लोगों को एक ही बात बताना चाहूंगा, जिंदगी में कुछ भी इम्पॉसिबल नहीं है। जिस चीज को करना है उसके पीछे पागल हो जाओ। जब तक पागलपन नहीं आएगा, जुनून नहीं आएगा, और आपको हैप्पीनेस नहीं आएगी, और जब हैप्पीनेस होगी तो आप टायर्ड नहीं होंगे। और इकिगावा, इकिनावा एंड इकिगई, ये जो है जापान का जरूर देखिए। एक जगह है इकिनावा, वहां पर कोई भी 100 साल से कम नहीं है। It is very important. All of us, we should enjoy.
I remember you spoke about that earlier
Yes.
in our earlier. In fact, I didn't come in 240. We were around under 100. We spoke first time around. I'm glad that I've been there in each century of your webinars. But then it's amazing how you bring it all together, because with your experience, we still are, bound by profession, and are, there are certain do's and don'ts that go with it. There are certain things in the professional world are done and or not done. But at your stage, I think they all come together. So we are in the process, and hopefully, yes, we'll be able to do some justice to this by the time we reach that stage.
और मुझे उर्दू अच्छे से नहीं आती है, लेकिन कोई कहता है, मैं अकेला ही चला था जानवे मंजिल, लोग आते गए और कारवां बनता गया। लोग जुड़ते।
talked about music, right?
Music, yes, music is very important.
You talked about music. Yeah, you talked it, and you yourself have spoken about it earlier. Remember the source, and I even don't remember if it was at Peak, but I often said that when death comes to you and whispers in your ear and says that your time has come, time. That
और
I have not lived in mere, I have lived in love and not in mere time. And if she asks, will your songs remain? Let me say that I know not, but this I know, that when I sang, I found my eternity. So your eternity is found the moment you do something. You don't have to wait for a tomorrow. The happiness that you generate then and there. So I think
आज मैं दत्ता साहब के स्कूल के बच्चों को और टीचर्स को एक टास्क देता हूं। अगर आप मुझे दोगे, my chamber will pay you 10,000 rupees cash award to the winner. Very simple. मुझे एक कोई भी वीडियो YouTube से कहीं मैं जब तक डॉक्यूमेंट्री एविडेंस नहीं देख लूंगा, मैं कन्विंस नहीं होऊंगा। मुझे ये पता करना है कि राग दीपक जब तानसेन गाते थे तो दिए अपने आप कैसे जलते थे, और तानसेन जी की उस पूरी चीज के अंदर मैं जाना चाहता हूं। और एज ए फौजी ये कहूंगा, एक अच्छी बात है, देश से है प्यार तो हर पल ये कहना चाहिए, मैं रहूं या ना रहूं, भारत ये रहना चाहिए। सिलसिला ये बात मेरे यूं ही चलना चाहिए। मैं रहूं या ना रहूं, भारत ये रहना चाहिए। That is something, the spirit we all should have. Music is beautiful. Your life can be musical. Your life can be lived musical. Enjoy music. जो आदमी म्यूजिक को एंजॉय करता है वो कभी किसी को हार्म नहीं करेगा, वो किसी के लिए नेगेटिव नहीं सोचेगा। उसकी नेगेटिव थॉट्स को आप कट कर सकते हो म्यूजिक के साथ। हमेशा पॉजिटिव रहोगे, हमेशा पॉजिटिव रहोगे। म्यूजिक इज अ ब्यूटिफुल टूल टू एम्पावर एजुकेशन, टू एम्पावर एजुकेशन।
I think
और
I think
मैं
that we have included it in our curriculum in such a big way, and so many of our staff members swear by it. And I hope that we'll be able to do justice to the investment of time that has run into it. Thank you so much.
एक दिन 45 मिनट्स का वेबिनार करेंगे और पूरे वेबिनार में सिर्फ म्यूजिक होगा, और मैं आपको 20 गानों से 45 मिनट्स के अंदर पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट बताऊंगा कैसे होती है थ्रू म्यूजिक। We will do it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I
Thank
think
you. Pleasure to have you, and wonderful, and all the teachers over there in Datta Sahib School. You all are wonderful. All my children over there in that school, those are joining. My blessings to you. Look forward meeting all of you at the earliest, as soon as possible. And
yeah.
green morning, green afternoon, green evening, world over, wherever you are. Stay safe, stay fine, stay healthy. Take care of your wellness. All the best. God bless all of us. शाम को 5 बजे का वेबिनार भी है। अगर
Yes.
समय हो तो डॉक्टर गुलशन शर्मा के YouTube के चैनल पर आइएगा।